So much out of favor are the Yakuza members now that attempts are often made to disguise once proudly displayed symbols of courage, such as ritual tattoos. Some gangsters have even tried a bizarre form of plastic surgery.
What's emerged in the last 10 years or so is the sort of application of prosthesis. And it is not uncommon for the particular person to have an operation whereby a toe is removed and surgically sewn onto the cut finger. And of course, it's always going to look mutilated, but then with subsequent plastic surgery, it's not as easy to discern as may have been in the past.
By the early 1980s, however, one major crime syndicate, the Yamaguchi gumi, controlled over 2,500 businesses, ranging from loan sharking to pornography and prostitution. While the big money flowed, so did the violence and greed. One of the group's leaders was gunned down at a coffee shop by fellow gang members. The execution-style murder occurred in the city of Kobe. Masura Takumi, the number 2 man of the Yamaguchi gumi, was enjoying his morning coffee when the killers struck. Kobe in 1985 was also the city where over 1,000 black-suited gangsters gathered for the funeral of their murdered boss. 400 riot police were on hand to watch over proceedings. These gangsters are also members of the Yamaguchi gumi. Their slain boss was 51-year-old Mashiz Takenaka. It was in an apartment building in nearby Osaka where he was gunned down by a rival gang's hit squad. The police said was led by a YAKUZA lieutenant. He was caught. The gunmen weren't. Even as Takenaka's body was taken home, Japanese newspapers reported that the Yamaguchi gumi and the police were in a race to find the 3 gunmen. Takenaka had led the Yamaguchi gumi for only a few months. And it was his election that caused a rival faction to split away from the Yamaguchi gumi. It was that group that killed him. They are the Ichiwa Kai, many thousand strong. Both gangs are Yakuza, and together comprise over 100,000 soldiers. They are best recognized, of course, by the missing little fingers after they have made a mistake and atoned through yubitsumi. This was not a healthy regime to reign over. Even their former boss of 35 years, Kazuo Toka, although surviving many assassination attempts, finally succumbed to the stress of being oyabun and died of a heart attack. Following power struggles, gang wars, and some success from the Japanese police force, there are about half as many of them as there used to be. The major gangs are kept under constant surveillance these days in a continuing war of nerves. It was a different scene just months before the funeral here in Kobe, when the police and the Yamaguchi gumi were out in force again. That time was to inaugurate their new leader. Takenaka had won the power struggle to the top. At that time in Japan, the head of organized crime made no effort to hide who he was or what he does. Here is a traditional ceremony, making him the head of a $5.5 billion business. With the drinking of the sake, he assumes a mantle of oyabun, or boss. The Yamaguchi gumi is headquartered in an office building marked by the gang symbol for all to see. There was no need to hide. The Yamaguchi gumi is run like any business, has a board of directors who meet regularly, examine their achievements, and make goals. If you're successful, you might even make the members honor roll. But during this era of increasing infighting, the violence didn't end within their own ranks. The Yakuza is always ready to go after anyone who decides not to play by their rules.
Oh yes, they've got absolutely no qualms about taking action against people who offend them. The well-known Japanese film producer, for example, dared to produce a film which showed the Yakuza as criminals and thugs as opposed to the samurai image they like to portray. Well, He had a run-in with two people with a samurai sword outside his office, and it required hundreds of stitches to his face. And this is a world-renowned film producer. They'll do that to him. They're not too worried about little guys.